Hello, everybody. We are live.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this lovely Sunday evening with a lovely guest, which I think we know a lot of people knew who was coming on, which is great. So really appreciate you joining us. Hello, Nick. How are you?
Good evening, everybody. Hi. How are you doing?
Really appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for inviting me.
This is a different setup, isn't it? So you normally see our ugly mugs first for about half an hour.
Do. Cheers, everyone.
But, surprise, all of a sudden, go straight into it.
Yes. So we'll just say hello to some of the people we know that are in the chat.
Yeah.
And then we'll start firing away with some questions. So firstly, we have Brandon from Da Vinci's Alchemist in the chat. Hi, Brandon. We have Kit Kat, Catty. She put a post out earlier, Nick. I'm not sure if you see that.
I saw it. I loved it.
Post.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
She's got a great way with words.
Yeah.
Lovely. We have Nigel in the chat from 2 Cents Worth.
Hello, Nigel. I recognise you. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Scott from the Centurion.
Yeah.
We have Brian from Knows No Notes.
Ah, hello, Brian. Hello.
Say that 10 times fast, Nick. After a few beers, it won't work very well.
No notes, no notes.
Don't test me.
We have Jackie. We have
Barry.
We have Jon Snow, Scented Snowdrops. We have Heather. We are Sentinent. So we have a few people in the chat already. It's going well. So hello, everybody. Right, just to warn people in the comments, obviously chat away. We're going to obviously be talking to Nick and getting to know Nick, as you will too. If we could save some of the questions until the end. If I spot anything and I want to interrupt, I will. But we'll ask Nick some questions at the end. We're going to be live for about 45 minutes to an hour. So it's not going to be a long live like we would normally do. We're missing the half an hour before, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we bore them anyway.
We bore people. I waffle as well. If I waffle, Becca usually squeezes my knee or slaps me.
Okay. I say no slapping on this show, please.
So what we'll do then, let's start away with our first question just to break the ice, and then we'll get to know you a bit. So firstly, my name's Tony. I am from the channel Fragdicted. I don't like people referring to themselves as the third person, so don't do that, Nick. Okay. I'm a car salesman and one of those horrible people, and I'm into fragrance massively. So, okay. Nick, would you like to introduce yourself?
We have something in common. So hello, everybody. I'm Nick, and I'm really into perfume. I'm addicted to it, so there's a common thread. And I am the founder of Gallivant, which a few of you know already. A few of you may not know who we are. We're a small, independent London perfume maker. Yeah.
Excellent. Well introduced. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I don't like these things.
Just pretend you're on the course. Do you get embarrassed when you get that on the course?
Yeah, I don't really know what to say.
When it comes down to you.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Becca, or Bex, or T-Rex.
Or Rebecca.
Or Rebecca, yeah. I also work in the motor trade. I mainly do all the paperwork around buying a car. And my hobby is photography.
Yes. Not fragrance so much. But you are falling into the rabbit hole, aren't you?
Yeah, I have purchased a couple of niche ones,
yeah.
But mostly photography is, well, I've done a couple for a couple of companies.
Yeah, she's starting to get that going, which is good.
And everybody knows that I started in portraiture. So that's me.
Excellent. Right, Nick, our first question,
I'm
we always
ready.
like to ask this, thank you for doing that, is does pineapple belong on pizza?
For me personally, no. I like pineapple, but I'm not on pizza. No, sorry.
Well, that's it. End of chat.
End of chat.
Everyone's saying already.
We're not very judgmental. It's fine. Right, let's talk about, this is very exciting to have you on about this, because there's a lot of hype in the industry at the moment about the new fragrance that's out.
Yes, and actually, can I just say, your fragrance saved me last week from oud. I had it on my hand and it was my saviour.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So the new fragrance... So the new fragrance is called Bukhara. Am I pronouncing that right, Nick? I'm not murdering that.
Yeah, I mean, we say Bukhara. They would say Bukhara, but Bukhara is easier, so we'll stick with that. That's all good.
Excellent. And obviously, you must be proud of this because you've sent samples out all over the world, I've noticed.
Yeah.
That must be a huge cost, and I would say a very generous thing to do, because I've not known anyone to do that. The only other person I know that does that is George Zaharov.
Okay.
So that is, I think that's fantastic that you've done that, and it will garner sales, we know that. But the initial cost outlay must be quite phenomenal for you, especially with postage.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I want to make one thing really clear, if I can, that the samples go to my paying customers. So I'm a really big believer that I want to give back to my customers. And some people have contacted me to say, oh, I didn't get my sample. And I kind of say, well, that's really easy for me to tell you why not. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really big thing to do, to make them all. You know, I did it all myself around my kitchen table, post them all. So yeah, part of the month before the launch was doing that. And at one stage, I just kind of felt like, oh God, I wish I hadn't even started doing this, but I'm so into it now, I've got to finish it. Hopefully everyone's received them. And I hope people are enjoying discovering. And I've had lots of lovely messages from people saying what a lovely surprise it was and what a nice thing it was to do. So I'm glad I did it. It feels like it was worth it. Yeah.
Well, you were blown away, really, weren't you?
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting it, because you just you hadn't warned people that it's going, and you shouldn't have to, but it made it a nice surprise.
That's what I wanted. I wanted people to feel like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting this to land on my doormat, and it's something enjoyable, and yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Well, I got in there first, though, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
I actually smelt it before Tony.
You did.
Yes, I did, and I don't know whether he was that impressed that I did that, but you know,
Perfume is all about sharing, people, so it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I came home first, so Bagsy, the post first. Sorry.
Yeah.
For the next launch, I'll try and do it again, and maybe Tony, you get to smell it first next time. So. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nick, you've messaged maybe about this. This would be awesome. When you've got it out, I'll come down and visit you at this store.
Yeah, come
to the new place. I'll come down and visit you. We'll set a day and I'll come down.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
Don't ruin my questions, Nick. I've got questions coming on about that. So, so no. In terms of going back to Bukhara a moment.
Yeah.
What I wondered with all of the fragrances really is, when you talk to the perfumers and stuff, is it all from your head of you give the brief and you give the idea behind the fragrance? That's how I imagine it, but could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like there isn't one process. Sometimes people ask me, what's the process? And I say the process is sort of different every time. The common thread is that I'm always working with friends, people I know, I've known a long time. I guess I just feel really comfortable. I like being in their company. And I think maybe on some level that's reflected in the perfumes, that they all feel quite feel good. But there's not a really strict briefing process. It's snapshots from the trip. It's snapshots from these places I've been to and I love. So I'm trying to bring them on a journey with me. I'm not like sort of saying I want it, you know, I would never work this way, but, you know, I want it to smell like such and such a perfume on the market. We don't talk about other perfumes, which I think is quite unusual. I hear more and more people, even in niche and indie, they're telling the perfumer, you know, I want it to smell like X and X and X product.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even really start with a fixed idea of the material.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very fluid, it's very open. Yeah. And maybe I can only do that with these people because they know me very well and we've got a lot of history together. Yeah.
Excellent.
I think it's quite nice to have people who bounce off you. So if you're rolling with an idea, it's nice to have those people who understand your ideas, and together you do create a product which isn't like anything else on the market, which is probably what stands out for me.
Okay.
There's a lot of fragrances that I smell, and if I say to you, I recognise that from somewhere.
Yeah.
Or, oh, that smells like X, or X, Y, and Z. Whereas yours, every time I pick up, I'm like, oh my goodness, that doesn't smell like anything I've smelled ever before.
Well, that's nice to hear. But I don't set out with that in mind. I don't think to myself, I want to do something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just comes naturally, though. I think your ideas are, like you say, they're fresh. And if you're with a team of people who, you know, are quite light-hearted, your fragrances are very light-hearted. It is lovely. It is really, really nice to pick up every bottle and actually like it, which is very rare for me.
It's rare. I'll tell you what, it's rare for us both because there's a certain type of perfume or fragrance that we both really like.
Yeah.
And that is sort of a sweet gourmand style fragrance. Okay. So very much in the realms of LA, Nick, is something. But it's very rare that we both pick up a lot of different fragrances, especially from the same brand. Where we like. So the story was in lockdown that we got your discovery set because we were about to do a live, which I think you see with a few other gents.
I remember it well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to live with those fragrances in lockdown, and for the first time ever, Becca actually showed some interest in fragrance. So they landed. I was very excited to open them. We opened them. We sat at the same table we sat at now, and we both went through the range. And every one, and I'm not blowing smoke where it shouldn't go, every one we were like, oh, and they're all very different, and they're all very likable.
Mm-hmm.
And that was rare for us. And I think I messaged you very quickly after that, Nick, and was like, I need you to help me out. I want all these fragrances.
I think I was on a long cycle ride, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were out. And you said, I'll message you when I get back. Yeah. But no, thank you for what you did. Now, I've bought a few, as you know. Neil has helped me out, but I have bought them. And I haven't reviewed them all. We did the live. I've reviewed the newest one. I do plan on going backwards. But we both really enjoy them.
Well, thanks. I never get bored of hearing that. So
good.
When you travel to these places, I'm guessing you've travelled to everyone that you've created. Am I right?
Yeah.
So do you try and capture where you go in a scent, or is it sort of a generic roundup of your whole trip, or is there a certain point of that country you think, I'll create a fragrance around that scene? Or
I think I'm just trying to recreate the emotion of the journey. So I don't ever want them to feel too literal.
Yeah.
You know, someone asked me the other day, actually, does this mean all the ingredients of each perfume are grown in that place? Mm-hmm. And that's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
So the ingredients really come from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just trying to hopefully say something positive about each place and sort of say to people, think about these places and don't just think of the obvious, like, tourist postcard. Think of the small details, think of the people, the food, the vibe of each place. That's really what I'm trying to distill.
Yeah, I think it's important. And you know what? You brought to my attention the city of Bukhara, which I hadn't heard a lot about. And you see from my video, that's me watching YouTube videos. I'm taking a journey around the city. I'm trying to capture what those smells what those smells must smell like. And then you're wearing it while you're taking that journey as well, and you're sniffing, you're watching, and you're learning about the city. And it's I can only imagine that gets heightened when you're there, rather than through a screen.
I mean, what you kind of want to keep in mind as well, that, you know, when we're traveling, all of our senses are more alert because it's less our regular daily life, right?
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people will say, oh, I remembered the smell of, I don't know, coconut. Because I smelt it in an exotic location and I was on holiday. So I think we notice things more. You know, you're looking for things, your nose is maybe more open, you're trying new foods. So I think that's one of the reasons that I thought that travel for me, you know, I love traveling, but it's a kind of good creative framework for Gallivant as well. Yeah,
I think it's a brilliant framework, because you can imagine all the countries in the world.
It's endless.
That
it really is endless.
A, you get to travel to and experience, and then B, have the opportunity to bottle that trip and then share it with the whole community, the whole world, technically.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. Is that how you came up with the name Gallivant?
My mother always used the word with us, even when we were like really small children. Like, you know,
that's a London.
I don't know. I still always hear lots of different people say the same thing to me. Oh, my mum always said that to us. Where are you gallivanting?
Gallivanting too.
I really love, and has got a sort of emotional memory thing with me.
Yeah.
I also really like the idea of this word that means to go around in pursuit of pleasure. Because perfume can be a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but you know, it ought to be a feeling of pleasure and a source of pleasure. So I sort of wanted to say something about that, because I kind of felt sometimes people in perfume maybe had forgotten that a perfume is on your skin, a very intimate product, and it should kind of move you a little bit, hopefully in a sense of pleasure. So yeah, that's why I chose the name. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Becca's asking the questions that she hasn't even seen me written down.
Oh, sorry.
They're in quite good order as well. She's doing it in good order. It's fine. So one of the questions was, how did you come up with the branding? So you just answered that, which is great. Now, one of the ideas I wanted to link by, where did you come up with the idea of, which is fantastic, I think other people have started doing this, the £25 set, and you get that off the bottle. Obviously, I know you like the idea of people getting it on skin and trying it properly, but it literally is a fantastic idea, and I think that will get a lot of people on side with the brand to try the pack, knowing that they fall in love with one, they're going to get a bottle a bit cheaper, they're going to get something back. I think it's fantastic that you did that, Nick. I really do. Was there an idea behind that, or was that just literally you've seen it done somewhere?
It was that I like things that are simple and easy to sort of execute. So you know, I was thinking originally, okay, it's really important for me that people come to Gallivant, but also they give some time to it. I'm kind of a little bit appalled when I see people sometimes shopping for perfume, how quickly they're kind of going, like, smell the nozzle, oh, I don't like it. And you sort of think that you haven't smelled anything. And there's no way that any of us would judge a perfume that way. So really important to wear things. And you know what, not to rush people. So that was my thinking. Someone recently said to me, and I hadn't thought of this, but I love it. They said it kind of shows this kind of confidence in the quality of what we're doing, that we think people will like one of them and come back for a bottle. So yeah, I just feel like it's a really honest way of doing it, and it gives people the chance to do it in their own time, in their own space, without me rushing them or sort of suggesting too much and kind of biasing them, because that would be easy to do, I think.
One of the other things I wanted to talk about, Nick, was the branding. So not just the idea behind Gallivant and the travelling. That is obviously, I've just mentioned, that is endless. So it's a little bit ingenious what you've done, because you can now now carry this on for as long as you want to.
As long as you can travel, yeah,
exactly. As long as we can travel, exactly.
At the moment,
but you've still got probably other places you've been to that you've got a memory of that you could still do it with. But what I love is the branding, is the simplified bottles, is the white labels with the gold, lovely gold, rose gold writing, and the boxes with the sleeves with the little snapshot of the city on, and the little details. I love the little logo. You probably had all this feedback, but that sort of that whole package that you've put together with the very clean, sophisticated, I would say, branding, we both love that. It's important to me, the branding part of it. I think I love branding. I love people that do things cleverly, and that is definitely, I'm fanboying here.
I'm okay with that.
It's fantastic. It really is very clean and easy to look at, and looks good on the shelf, and it's not just a fragrance. So massive congratulations on that. But did you give the brief for that, or was that like a think tank? Was that something you had ideas from other people, or?
It was sort of like the accumulation of, I guess, 20 odd years working in perfumery. And looking back, I'd created a lot of products for other people, for other brands, but I'd always kept like a folder of sort of personal things. And I think if I showed you that, a lot of it would make sense.
Right. Okay.
Details, print techniques, the foiling technique, the paper stock of things. Yeah, it was a lot of things that I'd lived with for a long time, and I wanted to do for my own brand. Yeah. Oh. But listen, the other thing is that I am kind of swimming against the tide a little bit, I think. There's a lot of stuff out there that's quite big and golden and big caps and all this sort of stuff. So I'm kind of going against a lot of that. So that was a risk, the trend, not that I really follow trends, but the trend really was to a bit more, let's say, blingy. And you know what, Gallivant, I know is not for everybody. There's some customers who say to me, I want like a really heavy cap, and I like it when it's really decorated and opulent. And I think, well, that's fine, because there's plenty of brands doing that. But I'm really pleased that lots of customers seem to like the fact that, I want to keep our visual identity quite simple. It means basic. It means hard to do in a simple way.
Yeah. Of course.
But the style of perfumery is really sophisticated once you put the juice on the skin. So that's the way round I wanted to do it. Yeah.
No, I think it works perfectly. I think a lot of people these days love streamlined interior, quite minimalist.
Less is more.
Grey walls, white walls, and I mean, they sit beautifully on my dressing table. I mean, they're not all mine, but
you've got a Baroque style dressing table, haven't you?
And
they sit beautifully.
I mean, our house is very cream and grey, so for them to slip in, it's perfect. It is perfect, and I think a lot of people do like less garish stuff sitting on their shelves for everybody to see. So
certainly that's our style, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, to be really frank, it's really also an economic choice. I knew I wanted to spend all the money I could on the materials of the perfumes, whereas I sort of see some brands, and I'm going to be a bit cynical. I'm going to say I can see they've spent a lot of money on packaging. Then you smell the juice, and the juice really doesn't feel that high quality, to be frank. So I really wanted it to be clear that I'm spending every penny we can on the raw ingredients and the materials of the perfumes, because we're a perfume maker.
Let's be fair, that is the most important bit anyway.
Yeah.
So no, I love it anyway.
Right. Do you want to ask that one now?
Oh, you've written it in pink as well.
Yeah, I've written questions in purple and pink, Nick. So
if you don't know, but Tony loves cake. Like literally loves cake. He's a secret cake eater.
No, I'm not secret about it anymore.
No, you just come out with it now. You've just been eating cake. So we would like to know, what is your favourite cake?
Listen, I've got a very sweet tooth, so I like a lot of I love the Victoria sponge. Really, really good one. You can't kind of eat it. God, put any cake in front of me and I'll eat it. Yeah. So
I'm the same.
I'm not that discerning when it comes to sweet things. I'll eat a lot of it. Yeah. But a good, really well done Victoria sponge is actually really difficult to do. So anyone that's really good at it, please send some tips my way, because
send cake. send some cake.
Yeah.
Well, I made a red velvet cake this afternoon.
You did. I've got cake when we finish this, Nick.
And the tip is, if you want them like moist, just put a little bit of oil in.
Okay.
A bit of oil in the cake mixture, and it just keeps it quite moist and quite squishy.
Okay.
Top tip.
All right. I'm going to let that later. Yeah.
So going on that, obviously you have a sweet tooth. Tony has a sweet tooth, massive sweet tooth. He's also written down, what is your favourite ice cream?
Oh, do you know, I had the most amazing ice cream the other day. It was a Japanese matcha, so a sort of tea.
Very nice.
With sesame flavor combination.
Oh, that's
interesting. Yeah.
Honestly, it's delicious. Yeah. It was a really interesting mix of sweet and sour.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. You love a chai latte, don't you?
Yeah, there's a place in Covent Garden, cafe that goes down the stairs and in. It's in near the middle. And we had a chai latte when we went to London. I had a chai latte. Nick, I could have bought the package. I could have bought the actual chai from them. They had it on sale. And Beck said, well, buy some. You've enjoyed it that much. Get some. We don't come down to it. I was like, no, because when we come back to London, I'll really look forward to going back there.
It's good to leave a little something to give you a reason to come back to a place.
Exactly. So when we go back to Covent Garden, that will be one of the first places we'll go back to.
Yeah. It's like when I travel, I don't always want to sort of do everything in the place, because I always want to leave a little thing that gives me a reason to go back.
Excellent.
Yours is a chai latte.
Yeah,
it's a simple thing.
It's a simple thing.
It's a simple thing.
That's it. Right. Let's do that one. Right. When this isn't a clue as to what's next, Nick, but you obviously enjoy travelling.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't at the moment.
Lockdown has stopped that a lot, and
I've missed it a lot. Yeah.
But is there somewhere that when restrictions lift, where would be the first place you're flying back to? Any ideas?
Oh God, I'm probably going to jump on Eurostar and go to Paris, because I kind of go there pretty regularly, and I haven't been there actually this year. Given I used to live there, and I have very good friends there, and people I work with there. It's really strange that I haven't been there. And then probably, if I'm going to jump on a plane, I probably need to go to New York and to the US. We've got lots of fans in the US, and that's really lovely. Lots of retailers that we work with in North America. Yeah. So we kind of need to go and see them pretty soon, I hope. Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, how has lockdown affected you?
So what we mean by that, give us a highlight of lockdown and a low light of lockdown.
Yeah.
I think the highlight was really winning the award with Los Angeles. So that happened in May. So if I'm allowed to bang my drum for a moment, I won Best Niche Fragrance.
Of course.
That was great. That was a definite highlight of that whole period. Can I say another highlight? Am I allowed to?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
There was a real feeling at the beginning of quiet and people getting back in touch with nature. I mean, we're in central London. I live in central London. We're really talking about, oh my God, we can hear bird song.
Yeah.
We had the planes overhead all the time because there were no flights.
Yeah.
And then kind of people saying, like there's a blossom. And I'm kind of saying, there's a blossom every year. You just don't notice it because normally you're at work or you're not really looking at things. So that was marvelous that people were walking and going to the park and really looking for nature, I think, connection with something real.
Yeah.
I suppose a downside is, I can't travel, I can't go anywhere, and that's really tough. Because I've got a lot of friends and family who live overseas. So kind of people think, oh, it's just about going on holiday and it's this, that, and the other. And it's like it's not really like that for me. I'm kind of missing family events and family birthdays.
Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably a low light for you, was it? Was
Yeah.
it not? Yeah. We were obviously lucky. We've got the family, but I really did feel for people that were on their own through it, because it can't be easy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I would cope with that. I'd just eat lots of cake, lots of ice cream, and watch lots of Netflix if I was on my own.
And drink lots of chai latte.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, let's see what else. Right, there's one question I'd like to ask. We'll go back to that one. But when we got your gift, when we got your pack through, and we've tried the fragrances, and we've lived with them a little bit now, and I have 4 of them now? Yeah, 4. So we're getting to get to know them more rather than just the samples. One thing I've noticed, it might be me just imagining, Nick, and I have said this, and you may have heard me say it, is that I feel there's like a DNA in there. There's something, not familiar, that's the wrong word, but there's something that seems to go into each fragrance that, I'm not asking for any materials or anything, don't worry, but I just want to see if I'm imagining this. There's almost like, it's not a fizziness, but there's almost like this familiar sweetness that's in the fragrances that I love, by the way. And when I pick a new one up or pick a sample back up that I go back to, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I am. Is there a purposeful DNA in the fragrances or not? Am I imagining it?
I'm going to say not really by a very explicit sort of design technique. I kind of, obviously every time I'm working on something, I'm asking myself, does it feel like a Gallivant perfume?
Yeah.
That's really important. But then the next question, obviously, okay, but what is that, concretely? I don't know how to answer it. I can't tell you there's like a secret recipe. So there is a signature. More and more people will say that to me. They really recognize what a Gallivant perfume feels like. And that's really lovely, because that's sort of saying there's a consistency of quality across everything you're doing. But it's not like there's a sort of certain accord that we're always reusing. There are certain materials like the orris. Cara is obviously putting the orris front and center, and it's doing it in a very special way. But I use orris in Brooklyn. There's a little bit a tiny little bit in Amsterdam, quite a lot in Istanbul, quite a lot in London, quite a lot in Tokyo. So there's a lot of orris throughout them. Maybe that's an element.
Might be a reason I love them so much. I'm a massive fan of iris or orris in any fragrance, so might be one of the reasons I take to them so much. If you're using it in a lot of the different ones.
Yeah,
Barry's put it on there.
Will you really feel the orris in Tokyo? I don't think so. But it's there, and it has a supporting cast sort of role. The fizziness thing is interesting, because I kind of, when I'm creating a perfume, I'm thinking, is there a vibration? Is there a feeling of 3D from the skin? That's really important to me. So maybe that's another thing that's common across all of them. Yeah,
the fizziness, obviously that is most prominent in Brooklyn. Which we both loved, by the way. That, although we haven't bought that one from you yet, it is one we both very like. We like it a lot. I get that similar fizziness in Istanbul, believe it or not, that I get in there. Now, it's not a citrus note that I think is coming through, but there is a fizziness in the very top of Brooklyn. It settles very quickly. It's like a sweet fizz that just disappears quite quickly, but it's just so good in the opening. So
it's an amazing emotion, isn't it? I always see people smell Brooklyn, and it literally kind of puts a smile on their face, and that's
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's not what I was expecting. I've not subjected myself to enough of it, I don't think, but some of the Middle Eastern type fragrances, like if you said, what does Morocco or Istanbul, or what do these places smell like? Even places in Egypt, I imagine them to be quite dry. I imagine them to be quite, not challenging, to have a lot more spice in, and maybe a bit of oud, for example. And that doesn't resonate. That's not something that I enjoy too much in a fragrance. So when I first tried Istanbul, and you were the same as this, we were both, wow, that wasn't what I was expecting. This is nice. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And if you can't tell, that's my favourite one, Nick.
Okay. I mean, that's a very, very loved perfume already. I mean, I'm sort of blown away sometimes. I think this perfume's really only existed for sort of 3.5 years, and people talk about it as if it's one of these very loved classic reference perfumes in our industry. So it's within a certain tradition, it's within a certain style of perfumery that I really loved growing up. Serge Lutens, that kind of balsamic, ambery, vanilla perfume, sort of quite classic French perfumery in a lot of ways. Yeah. But I think Istanbul is really modern and airy, and you know, the cardamom note is really important in the
fantastic. Yeah, heard Chris talking about that earlier, and the cardamom, the tonka bean, the sort of the sweetness, the vanilla in there. It does really help, and that's the type of fragrance that me and Becca were referring to our what we like. So it fits in that perfectly. It really does, and I love the sweet spices in there. The cardamoms obviously help. It's beautiful.
No, it's an amazing perfume. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Did you have, growing up as a young man, did you have your one go-to fragrance? Looking back now and you're thinking, oh, goodness me, why did I wear that? Or were you quite sophisticated in your choice even when you were younger?
I think when I was given perfumes I only started wearing fragrance in my late teens. It's not like I was wearing perfume at age like 10 or anything.
Yeah.
So the perfumes I was sort of given starting out were quite classic, you know, Eau Sauvage, that sort of thing, which is a great perfume to start with. In my 20s, I was kind of wearing some stuff that I look back on and I think I'm not really kind of sure why I was wearing that. You know, I've got good memories of them, but I kind of don't want to wear it again now. So
we've all been there, don't worry.
We all feel the same. That, you know, I'm not a perfume snob at all. So sometimes when people say to me, oh, you know, I used to wear this in my 20s, and I'd be like, yeah, so did I. I used to love it. Do I want to wear it again now, like 20 years later? No, not really. So
I think I had the whole collection of Impulse. Impulse body sprays and Charlie Red.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of that.
One thing you've done very well, Nick, is I haven't written this down, I've just winged this really, this part, is the unisex factor.
Yes, definitely.
It's we feel the same way. Although there are fragrances that are aimed towards male, female, and Becca agrees with this more than me, that she wouldn't want to smell of some of the masculine fragrances, like maybe some of the fougères that I like and things. So we're doing it ourselves without even acknowledging we're doing it. But one thing you do very well, none of your fragrances I found that have lent, and I've not described them that way, I don't think, that have lent masculine or female. They are literally, they couldn't be more down the middle in my eyes at all. So is that purposeful, or is that just by chance?
I'm going to say it's a bit of a chance, because, you know, sometimes people ask me, like, when I'm thinking, you know, do I think about who's going to wear them? And to be honest, I really don't. And that's not a sort of weirdly egomaniac thing, because hopefully you kind of get the feeling that's not really what I'm about. I just think if you start thinking in a development, like who's going to wear it, it's really confusing. And it's kind of like a mass market approach, to be really honest. And I think perfume is so personal. I don't know what you're going to like. And I don't want to second guess, and I don't want to impose my tastes on you. So I kind of want to do something that I love and I think is interesting and sophisticated and great quality, and hopefully people will like it. But I really don't think, oh, this is masculine, this is feminine, this is for like, you know, I don't know. I remember years ago sort of working in a very big brand, and the brief was like this you know, she's 25 and she's downtown and she's like a millennial. And I just thought, God, this is just like one big cliche.
Yeah.
Just hated that kind of approach to doing perfume. So yeah.
Yeah, brilliant answer, Nick. And I think a lot of people will resonate with that in the chat, because we've discussed this a few times and it gets quite heated, this discussion sometimes. And I think you've answered it perfectly.
Listen, people are individuals, you know, we're all human. We all have different references, different moods, different scent memories, different perspectives. And that's one of the things that's so great about perfumery. And so the idea that I'm going to tell you, like, you're this age and you live there, you're going to wear this, just seems ludicrous to me.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's kind of a double question. A, do you wear your fragrances, or do you have a house that is your favourite? So do you wear yours, or do you wear a completely different house altogether?
I really, really wear mine. Kind of. Remember, I've spent a really long time developing them. So, you know, we take between like 1 and 4 years on the formula. Wow. So, of course, by the time you get to smell it and hopefully you like it, it's like an old friend to me. I'm very used. It's in my presence. It's in my life. I'm very used to it. So then I kind of don't want to be without it, you know? But I do wear other people's perfumery.
Do me a favour, Nick. Just name me one. Name me one you've got in your collection that isn't yours.
Well, I've really, really fallen in love with the perfumery of Francesca Bianchi.
Excellent, yeah.
I really ask you all to check her work out. I think it's incredible. And I really want to say, like, I really want to support our small independent brands. Something a lot of us feel. And so, yeah, check out the small guys. Yeah.
Fantastic. I know Brandon, the Da Vinci's Alchemist, in the chat, he absolutely loves Francesca Bianchi. So
I know she's getting up fans. She's doing something very
excellent. Well, we'll have to be sure to check her out. Thank you, Nick. And thank you for asking that. Honestly, you could just go, no, I don't support anybody. Any other brands.
Well, that wouldn't be very generous on my part, would it?
What would you say? Have you got a favourite note or two that we've discussed Doris, and you obviously like that, but is there any other notes that you really like in a fragrance? Maybe you recognise easily as well, something that you can't think, oh yes, I love that.
There's a very, very, very long list of things I really love. We're not going to be here all night doing that. So I love vetiver. I really love vetiver. It's a special material. It's got a really interesting history because it was sort of considered more masculine in the history of perfumery. And I have it in our Berlin perfume, and I love seeing women react to it. Because, you know, a lot of new customers come and they don't want to smell girly. They're a bit more sophisticated, and they smell Berlin and they love it. So I love seeing how people react to things in such an individual way. So that's a special material for me. What else do I love? I've got so many of them.
Let's do one more.
One more. Myrrh, you know, frankincense. That's sort of the palette of materials. Sweet, Apoponax. It's all kind of in the same area. It's really overdosed in Istanbul, which is probably why we all love it so much. Yeah, there's something comforting and warm at the same time. So that's special to me. Yeah.
Excellent. Lovely answer. Let's see what else we have there. We talked about that, about the brand.
We've already asked those questions.
Yeah, no, we've done well there. Right, we've got a couple more here.
Just a couple more,
right, now, would you, this is a strange question, really strange. Stick with me, Nick.
Okay.
Would you consider working with a reviewer or influencer to make a fragrance under your brand? Now, I'm not hinting because I came from a lovely little place called Penge, and I don't think that would work well as a fragrance. So
the first name I'd probably
Penge.
You never say never. Remain open-minded. That's what I would say.
Excellent. Right. Well, we'll leave Penge out of that though. That's fine. Right, and let you answer that one. Ask that one.
That was a weird question. I don't know what the question.
What, the one I just mentioned?
Yeah. What was the
Well, it
question?
wasn't a question. No, he said he'd stay open-minded.
Yeah.
Would
I
it
think
work?
about the name Penge.
No, he wouldn't think about an open-minded about
Oh.
Penge. He'd be open-minded about working with an influencer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never say
okay. Sorry, lost track. I was like, what are you waffling about?
I like to say yes to things more than I like to say no to things. Let's put it that way.
Yes, ma'am. Like that programme. That's a great film. Right, you answer that one.
Oh, okay. Well, Tony loves Netflix. Loves to Netflix.
Yep.
So, is there any programs or TV series that you're watching at the moment that you can get your teeth into?
Yeah. So I'm watching a Belgian detective drama.
Okay.
In French, it's called La Trêve. In English, it's called The Break.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's on Netflix.
Mhm.
And I think it's brilliant. It's really original.
Mhm.
It's really intriguing. So I would say if you like sort of, detective,
Mhm.
kind of stuff, then check out that, La Trêve, The Break. I know
Okay.
everyone's sort of talking about this Emily in Paris show.
Oh, okay. No, I've not heard of that.
No, I've not heard of that.
No.
I've seen like 5 minutes of it, and it's kind of really bubblegum TV.
Mhm.
So I might have a look at that, but I don't know. I hear very mixed reports about it, so we shall see.
Okay.
I'm watching something really, really, really scary on there.
What?
The Haunting of Blythe House.
I don't know. Tell me.
Oh, I'm watching it at night time as well. I must be mad.
Crazy man.
It is very, very scary.
Okay.
Very thought-provoking, very scary. That's not even my style program, but when you're hooked on something you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like a guilty pleasure where you shouldn't be watching it because it's not the sort of thing I'd enjoy.
Okay.
I don't like being scared, but I'm finding myself, I need to watch the next episode. But it is fantastic.
It's like my worst nightmare.
It is. Becca would never go to anything like that. By the way, Nick, I came from quite a rough area, which I've told people.
Penge.
Yeah. Becca came from Fluffy Unicorn World.
Okay.
She still lives in Fluffy Unicorn World, which is otherwise known as Stamford, near Peterborough in Lincolnshire. And she won't watch anything other than reality TV, the Kardashians, teenage mom.
Okay, hang on.
Terrible taste in TV.
Whoa.
It's escapism, right?
Pardon?
Isn't it escapism? Isn't that why people watch?
Thank you.
I sort of feel like 2020 is the year for a little bit of escapism. So
yeah, exactly. And I think I'll try and explain this to Tony. I don't come from Fluffy Unicorn World. I come from, it is quite an affluent area. Yes, I get that. It's not Fluffy Unicorn World. It's just, obviously I've not been subjected to what maybe Tony's been subjected to in his childhood, which is it's acceptable. Everybody has different childhood. But when it comes to TV programs and stuff like that, I, like you said, like to just escape into something that's easy watching. I'm not going to be scared to death. My brain isn't going to have to work overdrive to understand what's going on. So if I watch anything, it is what he says, tut. But it's just easy watching. Yeah, I just switch off from being a mum and switch off from being Becca at work. It's just a little escapism. So don't judge me, Tony.
No judgment.
I kind of hope my perfumes are doing a similar job. There's a little bit of escapism through them. So feels like that's a good thing for this year and what we're all going through. So yeah.
Oh, 100%, 100%. We've got one last question. Oh, I won't ask it because Tony will tell me off. This is his question that he asks every week.
No, I've got two more.
Oh, you've got two more?
Yeah.
I thought that was just one question.
No, that one and that one.
Oh, okay.
So, right, Nick,
Yeah.
You get asked this a lot. What is your? And I'm not going to ask it in a different. I'm not going to get my words out. I'm going to ask this in a different way. So, people must ask you, what is your favourite fragrance from your brand?
They do, yeah.
A lot, and you must get fed up of answering it. So I'm going to ask you a different question.
Good.
But it's similar in a way. Okay, so stay with me. I'm a robber. I'm going to come into your brand and I'm going to steal all of your fragrances. But I'm quite nice. I've got a little bit of a heart deep down. So I'm going to let you keep 3 from your brand to keep.
Okay.
Tough question. I'm sorry. I said I wouldn't put you on the spot. What would you pick? You can fly them off the top of your head. You don't have to give me lots of reasons.
Oh God. Oh, I don't like this.
They're all your babies. It's like choosing your favourite child, isn't it?
What am I going to leave? The house is burning down. What am I going to leave? You know? Los Angeles.
Yes.
Bukhara.
Yeah.
Oh God. Amsterdam, which is like the unsung hero. I kind of don't understand why Amsterdam people find it too complex. It's the most amazing perfume. Yeah.
We didn't find Amsterdam too complex at all.
No.
No.
Good. Good. Spread the word.
We'll spread it. We'll spread it. Right, I've got.
But I don't want to lose any of them. So that's no.
Well, I'll give them back now. That's fine. It was just for the question's sake. What's this? It sort of ends the sort of questions from us. But what would you say have you got like an end game or a plan with the brand? Will you continue along the same idea, or do you think you're going to introduce something new at some point? Any thoughts on that?
I'm sort of doing this in a really very natural and intuitive way. I kind of don't want a massive plan.
Yeah.
And I think with anything, you know, you can plan and plan and plan and plan and plan. And like, especially this year, it shows something comes along and then all those plans go out the window. So I'd rather just kind of enjoy being in it and doing it.
100%.
And you know, I'm so lucky. I'm doing something I love, and I really believe in it. So yeah, that's the plan, to carry on doing that. I mean, yeah, of course, I want to do more things and grow and do different types of things, maybe within our Gallivant little family. But I don't really know what that looks like now, because I'm not really looking into the future that much. I'm more in the moment of what I'm doing today.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, and there's still so much to explore, I think, with this brand, and so many things that you could do. And I'm sure you've got
busy. You know, I'm really busy doing what I'm doing. So
exactly,
it's a good plan. It's a good plan to have.
Definitely.
It's enough for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Brilliant. Well, if you could, in the chat, if we could get some questions ready, because we're getting towards an hour now. But Beck, before we do that, to give people a chance to get the questions in, Becca's got her would you rather questions for you, Nick.
Yeah. Okay, so they're not serious at all, but it's the first thing that comes to your head. Okay.
I won't think about it. I'm just going to blurt out.
Just fire them off. Yeah. Okay, so first one. Would you rather eat cold mashed potato or cold baked beans?
Ooh, cold mashed potato.
Okay.
Not sure.
Mustard or Marmite?
Mustard.
Istanbul or Bukhara?
Ooh, Bukhara.
Okay. Sweets or chocolate?
Chocolates. Yeah.
Dogs or cats?
Well, like both. Dogs. Yeah.
Would you rather, if you had to go to somewhere, would you rather travel on a plane or travel on a train to take in the sights?
Train. Much less stress. Yeah.
Yes. Chocolate cake or red velvet?
Chocolate cake.
Good choice.
Would you rather do online shopping or go physical shopping?
Physical shopping.
Me too.
Would you rather travel to a hot country or a cold country?
Hot country, yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Depends on the time of day, but probably coffee if I have to choose.
Okay. Bacon or a sausage sarnie?
Probably neither, but I'm gonna go with sausages. Yeah.
Okay. London or Amsterdam?
London. It's my home. Yeah.
Okay. Beer or cocktail?
More cocktail definitely than beer. Yeah.
Yes. Red or white wine?
Red.
And would you rather be itchy or sticky?
Ooh. Itchy, probably.
Okay. Baked beans or spaghetti? Do you know the ones in the tin?
The spaghetti in a tin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with spaghetti in a tin. Yeah.
Okay, and the very last one, which Tony always hates.
Oh.
Fragdicted or Fragdicted snaps?
I can't choose.
You've got to choose.
Thank you, Nick. I think this is a mean question.
It's not a mean question. It's just because I'm winning.
Just because every time it's that people are being polite and going with the lady.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's really. I can't do that. That's really ungenerous. No. Both.
Oh.
Thank you, Nick.
I'll put that down as 1 each. There we go.
Yeah, one each. Yeah, one each.
Okay. We'll do 1 each.
I got my first point, Nick. Thanks.
You fight it out between yourselves later. Sorry.
Right. Well, we've got some questions then, Nick. Before we got, I'll ask some questions and I'll see if you've got anything you want to talk about.
Okay. No, I can't see the questions, just so you know. I can't see the.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll read them out to you. So we've got one from John Snow that says, Nick, I know flankers with your fragrances might not make sense.
Yeah.
But with would you maybe make a return to say London for a COVID version? As I imagine the smell. Oh, there's a seriousness to this because Nick Hart said this. As I imagine the smells and the vibe is very different.
It's a good idea. I'm kind of a bit loath to do anything that seems a bit like a flanker.
Yeah.
There's so many new places to explore as well.
And you know, it feels a little bit boring to me creatively. Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, let's what was that? Sorry, Nick, let me just catch up with these.
Let's have a look at some questions.
Steve from A Life in Scent. No. Will you please make a Tel Aviv candle? Right, that's different.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get requests quite a lot for candles. And actually, a really good candle is quite hard to make. So I'm not going to say I won't do them. I've tried. I've looked at different things, but I haven't quite found the thing I really love. And it's quite difficult working with that different format. So yeah. Maybe
there is a question. I think Brian mentioned it, and then Jackie said you should make a new home edition for people have not been able to travel.
Yeah.
So Jackie's put, yes, Nick, describe off the top of your head a quarantine scent.
Wow.
Ooh, God. I mean,
I would choose something comforting, roast chicken or something.
Yeah. The smells of the kitchen, you know, baking, flour. Yeah.
You could just come round and sniff me right now because that's not like a roast dinner. There we go.
Okay.
Just bottle it up.
So there's going to be a contrast between like the roast dinner and the Victoria sponge. So that's
So it's like it's chicken with a hint of sweetness.
Yeah.
We need a fragrance where it goes through 3 courses, like Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory with the bubble gum. So first of all, you smell the starter, then you smell the main course, then the dessert. That would be wonderful.
Truffle sprouts, you know, that's
exactly.
I don't know if it'll be the most commercial perfume ever launched, but you know, let's try.
And Brian's put, it smells like the inside of a never washed face mask.
Oh.
Lovely.
It's we're going to remember from this year, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. Right, Nick, have you got anything you'd like to talk about before we go? Anything you'd like to ask us, or anything that we missed that you'd like to talk about?
I'd like to just thank you all. I mean, listen, you know, this year has been a real roller coaster for everybody. It's been really tough on small businesses, small independent businesses. So
Yeah.
I can speak for a few of us. I think we want to say thank you for all the support and all the custom. It's kept us going in more ways than one, you know, financially, but also in terms of feeling like we're doing something that's resonating with people. That's been really great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Nick, because yeah, we feel the same way. We discovered the smaller brands, I think, through lockdown and purchased a few things, and it is important for business to keep going. And I'm glad that you've got through it okay as well. We really are, because it must be a big worry. We know what it's like for us, even with our job and keeping the job and stuff. It's a big worry for a lot of people out there, and I think perfume's been a real escapism, especially for me, more so for me than you, but definitely for me. So yeah, thank you. Keep them coming, Nick.
I will.
And I will definitely arrange to come to the shop and say hello, have a cup of coffee or two, and have a chat. So
We'll bring cake.
We'll bring cake. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've got to bring me a Victoria sponge, please. That's my request.
Yes.
That's your request.
Yeah.
I do make good cakes as well.
I'm going to hold that.
And congratulations. Someone said this in the thing. Yeah, congratulations on your award for LA. And such a wonderful launch with Bicard, because that's, I don't know, for you, you'll tell us whether it's gone well, but it seems like it has. There seems to be a lot of real good feedback too, which is fantastic.
I've been really blown away. I mean, you know, with Oris, you kind of have an idea that some of the perfume lovers are going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's really very expensive to do that sort of perfumery. So it was a big risk, even doing a small production.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of a global crisis, and we're launching really perfume. So yeah, I'm just like blown away that people seem to really love it and feel it's special, and yeah, it's just been great. Yeah, so I'm very happy.
Well, thank you, Nick. This means a lot to us. It's doing these lives. It's not, people might describe it as networking and stuff, but we really have made some wonderful, wonderful friends from doing this and getting to know people like you. So we really appreciate you coming on, Nick. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We really appreciate it. We'll let you go and enjoy your Sunday, the rest, what's left of it. We're into Monday now, so enjoy what's left. Have a glass of red for us.
Yeah, I've got to cook dinner now, so yeah.
We'll go and enjoy it. Well, thank you very much again, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
excellent.
And I'm seeing you in Hackney Wick at some stage.
100%.
Yeah, with the Victoria sponge.
Brilliant. Thank you so much,
Thank
Nick.
you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank
Keep
you.
well. See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. There we go. So
there we go.
That was Nick from Gallivant. What a lovely guest. I'm fanboying all the time, aren't I? Can't help it.
You waffled just a little bit.
Did I waffle too much today?
Yeah, but I did tell you you waffled.
Yeah, just say it, babe.
Yeah, I do. I kind of judged you.
Yeah.
Bang.
No, thank you everyone for joining. We really appreciate the lovely faces in the chat. Sorry we're not able to interact. I know I say this a lot, but it does mean a lot to us to interact with the chat as best we can.
Right.
Apologies, beer's going through. But wait till Nick was gone, just to you now.
Oh, brilliant, thank you. No, thanks for joining us again for another week.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
So we've got a break next week. I'm working again.
You are.
The week after, I am off work, and we will plan another live. Now, I would like to get some feedback from some people. Do we carry on with the mystery guest? I know people quite like that. Or do we announce who it is and give people a decision of whether they would like to come and watch that person or not?
Yeah.
I'm not changing where I want to go with this, but we'd like some feedback. So I'll be talking to some people in the week and see what they prefer. But I really enjoyed this format this week.
Yeah, and I think it gives you less stress of not slipping up.
Yeah, it does. And not just that. It's a slightly shorter life for us. We get to enjoy a little bit more of our evening, being a bit more selfish.
Yeah,
it's about an hour rather than 2 hours, and you get to enjoy your evening too.
That is very true. So please just let us know what you prefer.
Mystery guest.
Oh, there it goes. It's gonna have to be mystery then.
We don't mind. We like that idea, and we're happy to continue. We just didn't know what people would want. So
yes,
thank you. But thanks for everyone for joining us. We're going to go and spend some time with my daughter and with my lovely wife here, and eat some red velvet cake.
Yeah, if I don't poison everybody.
Finish some more beer and spray some more fragrance. So we'll see you all, not next week, the week after. I'll speak to you all in the week. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Hang on, you've got a live tomorrow. So there's a live tomorrow with Barry
8:30 p.m.
Centralise.
Yes.
Regarding some Rosa Salas.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
New
Useless.
Fragrances. So he is live tomorrow at 8 o'clock?
8:30.
8:30.
8:30. 8:30.
8:30.
After the little one's bedtime.
Yeah.
So live with Barry from Centralise tomorrow, 8:30, to talk about the new Rosa Salas fragrances.
Yes.
There are 5 that we're going to be talking about. We're going to completely wing it. We've not discussed what we're going to chat about. We're going to wing it. So we will see everyone that can make it tomorrow if they can. But
yes.
Thanks again, everybody. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Oh, I haven't pressed it.